And we're going to begin kneeling. Have enough support. Might be a block, might be a blanket underneath your sit bone. I'm doubling over a triple folded blanket. Sextuplet folded blanket. So that my sit bones are high enough from the floor. I don't feel any pain in my knees, and my feet are under my hips and parallel. It's such an important movement, kneeling, and being able to have enough prop underneath your sit bones so that your knees are comfortable. It's the way to do it. Now, if you just can't manage it, if there's swelling in the knees, sometimes it's just too painful. So put your feet out in front. One of the things that's so important is this stretch that you're feeling at the front of your ankle. And you can make that stronger if you put a blanket underneath the front of your toes as well. So you can try that out. But for this morning's practice, just kneeling. Good. And we're going to start to breathe more deeply. And with your inhalation, really draw your spine up to its full length. And as you exhale, then feel relaxed, but don't drop down. So keep the spine long on the inhalation. And as you exhale, just feeling more relaxed, but not losing the length you're making with each inhalation. So sitting taller and taller. So this kneeling might already be really challenging. So just keep with what you're doing if that's the case. And if you want to just try a little bit more of a stretch for the front of the ankle, we're going to lean back. And lean back on your hands. We're still staying with that breath that's lengthening the spine and relaxing. Good. And you can even try picking up your knees and stretching the front of your toes. Keeping the spine nice and long. Good. And then release. And release yourself from your kneeling position and come into all fours. Good. We're going to take good old classic cat stretch, which is just arching the spine up and down. Do that movement with your breath also. As you breathe in, opening the front of the chest, and as you breathe out, curling the spine up to the ceiling. Good. But then we're going to change this spinal movement to more of a wave. So just walk your hands a little bit further forward. Always remembering, keep the weight evenly in your fingerprints, base of the index fingers. Okay, and now for a wave, you're going to take your hips back, bend your elbows a little bit, look forward, lift the chest, feel the curl of your spine, and then tuck the tailbone under, chin to the chest, take the hips back. So a little bit different to just up and down, more mobile. And looking more at that front and back movement of the spine with each vertebra separating from its neighbors. Oh, Good. Now hold your shoulders forward. So your shoulders are over your wrist. Double check. Get your base of your index fingers down on the floor. Now, knees are back a little, and you're going to be in a half plank pose. So that's where the knees are on the floor, but you drop your hips so they're in a line with your shoulders and your knees, pressing down the fingerprints. And we're really lifting the belly. And we're breathing deeply. Now, as you breathe in, keep lengthening the front of the body, lifting the breastbone. And as you exhale, try to be a little bit more relaxed in the posture without slumping. You still have to hold on to some muscular support, but feeling more relaxed in your shoulders, the back of the neck, so that there's a deep strength without strain. Good. And then press back to forward virasana. So take your knees out wide enough for your tummy, for your chest, and reaching your arms forward. We're going to hold for a few deep breaths. Good. And then coming up into downward facing dog pose. And again, a few deep breaths. Let's keep the heels high to start with and work on opening the chest towards the front of the legs. And the head just hangs down. With each exhalation, feel length in the body. A little more ease in the spine and the shoulders. Good. And then start to press the heels down. And if you're in the habit of always going to the one side at a time, just try doing both together. Nice work. And we're going to take little steps towards the front of the mat. Even though they feel really awkward, try and press your heels down towards the floor, feeling a little stretch in the back of the legs each time. Good. And then roll up when you feel stuck. When it's a cold morning, get stuck early on. All right. We're going to face the long edge of the mat. You can see your device. And we're going to be doing some standing poses and some balancing. And you might like to have the back of a chair in front of you, and you can just hold on to that if you need it, or even the seat of the chair. Grabbing that now. Feet are underneath your hips, Tadasana. Take your arms up and look up. We're going to bring the hands in front of the heart each time. And when you do that, anchor the shoulder blades down. Jump or step your feet out to Trikonasana. Good. So left foot turns out, right toes turn in. I'll look opposite to you. Take your arms out from your shoulders. Good. Let's reach the left fingertips as far as you can to the left. So you could reach past the line of your toes. And without reaching down yet, feel how the left hip crease is starting to really fold in. So you want to really satisfyingly crease there, lengthening your left ribs. Good. And we're going to take the left hand down and the right arm up. Great. Feel the connection of your feet to the floor, strong leg. Lengthen your spine. And roll your ribs. We want the heart looking upward. Each deep breath, lengthening the spine, rolling the rib cage. And with each exhalation, look for a little more ease in your shoulders, back of the neck. Balancing tension and no tension. Good. Now, really feeling the core of the body. We're going to lift the left hand up off the leg. Now, if that's too strong for your back, obviously keep it on your leg. Otherwise, lift it up by your left ear and the right arm by your right ear. Good. And then come up. Nice work. Release your arms. Bring them back in front of the heart. And as you press them, draw the shoulder blades down. Turn the feet to the second side. Reach your arms from your shoulders. Good. Okay, we're reaching the right fingertips as far as you can to the right, trying to get them past the line of your toes. Good. Feel how satisfyingly the right hip crease folds in. Good. And then nice long right ribs, reaching over the right leg. Take your right arm down, your left arm up. Trikonasana. And then how can we improve this posture? Better awareness in the feet of your grounding, really using your legs strongly, lengthening your spine, rolling your ribs, opening the heart, finding your breath, and balancing between the tension of holding the posture and feeling relaxed in the posture. And then really aware of the core of the body and see how you go with that movement of lifting your right arm. So you can keep it on your leg if you need to. Otherwise, up by your ear, left arm by the left ear. We try to keep the heart opening towards the ceiling. Ooh. So much power in the core of the body. Nice work. And then lifting up. And we'll bring the hands together in front of the heart. Press your hands. Draw your shoulder blades down. Turn the feet to the front. And turn your toes in. Make a little back bend, look up. And as you exhale, we're going to wave the spine forward and then wave the spine up. And again. So torso all the way forward. And torso all the way up. Good. Wiggle. So you can step for your feet or you can jump back to Tadasana. Mountain pose. Inhale, arms up, look up. Urdhva Hastasana. Bring the hands in front of your heart. Good. Jump or step out to that wide distance again. And a little bit wider. Wiggle out. Good. And then turn your left foot out at 90 degrees. Your right toes in about 30 degrees. Just check. You want your left heel to line up with the right inner arch. Good. And we're going to bend the left leg. Really press the hands. Draw the shoulder blades down. And the more you bend in the left knee and drop the hips, the more you need to lift that internal muscular support. So pelvic floor lifts, lower front abdomen, so between the belly button and the pubic bone. Try to lift that, supporting your spine. Good, and we'll take the arms out from the shoulders, looking to the left. Warrior one, warrior two. Hands at your heart and press them. Draw the shoulder blades down. Okay, now we're going to walk the right foot in a little bit closer or step it in or however that feels. Dance it in a little bit. So remember, you can always have a chair handy if you need it for the moving parts of the posture. And we're just going to balance on the left foot and lift the right foot up off the floor if you can, or you can keep your tiptoes on the floor if you need to. But mostly we're taking the weight in the left foot. Your hands are still in front of your heart and your shoulder blades are still moving towards your waist. And you're going to tip your torso and lift your leg to where you can safely balance. We're in a preparation for Ardha Chandrasana, or half moon posture. Good. Lower your right foot back down to the floor and coming up. Turning to the front, turning your feet all the way over to the right side. Good. Take your arms out from your shoulders, but feel the shoulder blade ease down. Good. Bending your right leg. Of course, we want to make sure the right heel is lining up with the center of the left foot in the arch. And we're really bending the right leg and dropping the hips. Now, as we do that, definitely feel the pelvic floor lifting, the lower belly lifting, the spine lengthening. On your inhalation, feel the spine lift and lengthen. And on your exhalation, relax your shoulders. So balancing tension and relaxation in the posture, turning to look over your right fingertips. Nice work. We're going to bring the hands back in front of the heart, press them, draw the shoulder blade. Good. Now, we've got to step the left foot in. So however you might be wiggling, you can maybe dance that in a little bit so that you can balance on your right foot. Now, your toes are still pointing to the short end of your mat. You haven't turned them in. Your foot is parallel to the edge of the mat. Good. You might be keeping your left tiptoes on the floor for another point of contact. Or you might be able to lift that left foot off the floor, turning the torso to the left side. And you lift your leg and drop your torso only where it's safe for you to balance. Good. And then releasing. Now, we're going to take the feet out nice and wide and turn the toes in. And let's spinal wave again. So torso as far forward as you can. Your toes are in. Spinal wave all the way up and forward again. Put the toes out nice and wide. Find a lot of space in your spine. Let's do one more. Good. And jump or step or wiggle your way back to Tadasana. Inhale, arms up. And as you exhale, bring your hands in front of your heart. Press them, shoulder blades down. Step or jump out to that longer distance again. Turn your left toes out at 90 degrees and your right toes in. So your left heel lines up with the center of the right foot in our arch. Good. We're going to be in a warrior stance again. So the left leg is bending, but we really feel like we're lifting the belly, lifting that pelvic floor. Good. So we've got the hands in front of the heart. Let's take the left elbow onto the left knee. Now, if you have trouble reaching, you can let go of your hands and take your hand instead. But otherwise,
got this nice length in the spine. Feel the shoulder blades reach back towards your back pelvis. Feel the sides of the neck nice and long. Good, and we're really holding strong legs, long spine, strong core. And then lift your elbow just off your knee so there's less weight. And you're really powerfully using your legs. Good, and if you have that, you can try taking your arms out by your ears as well. And then inhale and come up and bring the hands in front of the heart. Good, lift up so you can turn to the second side. So I've got a nice long stance, right leg bends this time, feeling a powerful support, pelvic floor, lower front abdomen. All right, so we're trying for the right elbow onto the right knee, the hands in front of the heart. We're turning the ribs, the heart lifting. Good, in touch with the strength in your legs, your core, your spine. Good, and see if you can take that weight a little bit lighter from the elbow to the knee. So the core of the body is really doing the work. Nice work. And if you really have that, you can try taking your arms out from your ears. And then pressing into your feet as you lift up. Beautiful. Straighten your legs. Okay. Toes turned in. This time we'll keep the arms up as we wave the spine forward. So if you find it too strong, put your hands back at your heart. Waving. So try and get some lovely movement all along the spine. Take the arms up again. Waving the spine forward. Waving the spine up. One more. Nice work. Coming up. Arms up. Or the shoulder blades down. Turn your toes out and drop your hips. Take the knees as wide as they'll go. Lift the pelvic floor. Lift the belly. Try lifting up onto your toes. So lift your heels up off the floor. Ooh, really testing. Good. And then release. Hands back to the heart. Nice work. Jump or wiggle your feet back to Tadasana. Okay, for squatting now. And it can be really good to try using a chair. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing. If I know what I'm doing. Turn your toes out, heels a little bit wider than your hips. I'm going to have my hands out as a counterweight, but even just holding on to the seat of a chair if you've got one handy, you don't even have to hold very heavily, can help you keep your heels on the floor as you squat down. So we're going to do that. We're going to try and squat as far as our knees let it, but not to the point where the heels come off the floor. So we're only going to that place where the heels stay down. So arms out in front. Maybe you take hold of a helpful chair, moral support there, and really keep the heels down. And when you lift up, really press into your heels as you straighten your leg. Good, and one more. Really press into your heels as you lift up. Oh, nice work. All right. We're going to sit down now. And part of that squatting work, so you can use the kitchen bench if you're making a cup of tea. use your furniture to help you find these kind of movements in your body safely. Sitting down, and maybe you can do that now without using your hand. And if your movement is such that you can't do that safely to get onto the floor, but you can do that safely to get in and out of a chair and not use your hand. So just remember that pressure down of the heels. Okay. Simple cross-legged position. And legs out straight, of course, if that's better for you. And again, deep breaths. And as we inhale, we're going to lengthen the spine. But I want you to also feel that you're expanding your ribs out to the side. And as you exhale, try to keep that length and space in your torso. Just relax your shoulders, neck, your face, and your effort. So as you inhale, finding length, space. And as you exhale, finding yourself more relaxed, at ease. We're going to start to wave the spine sideways. Think about your ribs leading this movement. You turn your torso so you're facing over your right leg. Keep waving the ribs from side to side. And if you can add forward movement here, do that as well. So reach over your right leg and waving the ribs from side to side. Reaching as far as you can. Good. And then we'll come back up to the center. Nice. Swap your legs over. We're going to keep that nice waving from side to side happening in the spine. And then turn your torso to face your left leg. And we're waving from side to side. And if it feels okay, you can add your forward range of movement as well. Good. And then coming up to sitting. Nice work. And we're going to take the legs out straight now. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. So however you're comfortable, legs out straight. So the spine is probably feeling nice and movable. And we're going to just practice our forward range of movement with a spinal wave forward and back. So I've got my hands behind my hips to help with that movement. Something that locks this movement is just not feeling like we can move the pelvis. So come up to sitting up. Good. And see if you can just rock the pelvis back and forth. If you think of the pelvis, the bowl shape that it is, and we're trying to tip the ball back and then tip the ball forward. And again, we're balancing tension and ease. Notice where the movement feels good and where it feels difficult. All right, and then we're going to tip the ball of the pelvis forward as far as we can, and it might just feel like it's not much different to back. That's okay. So that's a good start. All right, and then try to wave your spine forward, but don't tip the pelvis back when you lift your spine up a little. So wave the spine forward, reaching as far as you can. Don't tip the pelvis back when you lift up. So we keep going forward. You might get to a position where you want to move your hands in front of you. You're still aware of all that movement, whole length of the spine. And with each breath, we're just gleaning a little more ease. Some people are gleaning a little more movement. And then we're going to hold as far forward as you could reach your spine, but without giving away your good posture and ease. So keeping the skin of the spine relaxed, long, keeping the belly relaxed, face and throat relaxed. Good. And then releasing your Paschimottanasana. Nice work. We're going to lay down. So it can be pretty challenging, that forward bend, quite an extreme movement. Notice how when you lay down, your back is supported in that lovely shape, ease to your spine, but you don't have to work so hard. And then we can still work on that tipping of the pelvis. So let's tip it one way with little back bend and see how that feels. Put the feet down on the floor and your feet are hip width and parallel, so your legs are parallel, and tip the tailbone up to the ceiling so your lower back presses into the floor. How does that feel? And then keep lifting. Keep lifting. And as you lift, you can really press each bone into the floor and try to lift away from there. Use your legs nice and strongly. Feel the quadriceps engaged. Squeeze the buttock muscles towards each other. Really lifting, lifting. And then you're going to lower down, bone by bone. And lifting. And lowering down. Good. Bring the knees into the chest. So if you straighten or towards straighten your leg, bring your knees in as close as you can to your chest. So now we've found the optimum distance for your leg bones, your thigh bone, femurs, and the front of the chest. So imagine in your forward bend when you're sitting that you can lay your chest out over your thigh. Haha. Except the hamstring. All right. So can you just try and straighten your leg without moving the knees away from your chest? Maybe you can hold your feet or hold the back of your thighs. So just like we were doing the forward bend before, but now the spine is thoroughly supported. Okay, and we'll change that up a little bit by turning it into happy baby pose. So take your knees out wide. Try to get your knees down towards the floor and your feet further overhead. And take your knees as far apart as you can. We get that good stretch in the inner hamstrings. Good. And then I'm going to try one leg straight at a time so that I don't lose that knee to the floor distance. But I'm keeping back, face, neck, everything relaxed. Using the breath to balance between ease and difficulty. Good. And then bend that leg and try your other leg. Good. And then releasing. Nice work. And feet down on the floor. We're going to have the inside edges of the feet together, knees together, arms out from the shoulders. Lift your hips and swing them to the right, and knees are going to go left. And just feel in your body, should you be passive here? Enjoying the hips of the posture. Or should you work a little harder for the core strength of your body? And both are valid. So if you're going to work on the core, you need to really engage it and lift your knees and lift your feet just off the floor. Again, we balance tension and ease. We're really using your core awareness to lift your legs back up to center. And then we go to the second side. So the hips swing left and the knees go right. And whichever one you did on the first side, you're going to match. Noticing the passive stretch. And then if you want to change that into the active core work, really active in your core, lift your knees and your feet just off the floor, looking over the left shoulder. Aware of the core of the body so that when you lift your legs, there is support. Hug your knees into your chest. Rocking a little from side to side. Okay. So if you'd like to stay for Shavasana, lay your legs out flat. And if you need to finish your process, rolling to your right side and coming up to sitting. Thank you and namaste. Shavasana, people, of course, making sure you're warm enough. If you have a sense that you're tight in your lower back, a blanket or cushion under your thighs can feel really good. Making sure your neck feels comfortable. You might have a head support there. We've been exploring tension and ease and quite a lot of postures that are improving strength. So they've been testing the stretch and contraction of your muscle. So it's natural for there to be tension in the body. With each breath, let go of what you can, unnecessary or no longer needed tension. That feeling of no more work to do in the body. Feel the rhythm of your breath. Space and ease. In each breath. And as each place in your body is mentioned, find space and ease in that part of your body. Your toes and your feet. Your ankle. Lower leg. Knee. Thigh. Belly. Hips. Buttocks. Pelvic floor. Lower back. Middle back. Between your shoulder blades. Your back rib. Side rib. Front rib. Shoulders. Armpit. Upper arm. Elbows. Forearms. Hands. Thumbs. Knees. Back of your neck and throat. Base of your skull. Scalp. Forehead. Around your eyebrows and between them. Around your eye. Nose. And mouth. lips, tongue. Jaw. Ears. And whole body now. Finding space and ease in the whole body. Breath by breath. Taking some deeper breaths now. Feeling your body moving out of stillness. Wiggling your fingers and toes. Bending in your arms and your legs so you can roll to your side. And when you feel ready, coming up to sitting. Find again the length of your spine. The space in your body. Bring your hands together over your heart. Namaste.